Happy Friday, everyone. It's that time of the week. I'm your host, Herwig. You can call me Happy. We've got the latest and greatest real-world asset news for you. I couldn't be happier. We've got exciting news, as we always do, but wow. This week, we get to talk about hundreds of billions of RWAs now coming on-chain, specifically to Avalanche and many, many more. So what a roundup to get into this week. Let's kick it off. Unfortunately, no guests this week, so we're just going to be running through the news. Kyle is over in Vegas, and everybody else is probably over there too that couldn't make it this week. So I get to talk to you about the incredible news we just got about Bergen County. That's over here in New Jersey. It's actually one of the wealthiest suburbs in the country. And actually, they're bringing all of their deeds, $240 billion worth, okay, to the Avalanche blockchain. That's insane. We're talking about, what is it here? 70 municipalities for about 1 million wealthy residents. That's how you get to that number, which is incredible because we know that's going to open up to so many opportunities for tokenization down the road. Right now, of course, they're just saying they're using it to secure property record management, the classic, record ownership and management kind of response that actually the DMV in California also used for car titles on Avalanche as well, by the way. So Avalanche really crushing it with the municipalities right now. And of course, it will also simplify and make them searchable on an immutable blockchain. So this is a very big deal. We talked about this in the 30 by 30 report. We're talking about 30 trillion in tokenized assets coming to the market by the end of the decade, by 2030. And this is one of the big drivers, is seeing huge title registries go on chain. California's got like over $1 trillion in real estate itself. It's an insanely huge market. And guess what? It's not limited to the United States. Looks like Dubai is following suit just like that, where Dubai is the first Middle Eastern country, they claim, that has officially now launched fractional ownership as little as $545 in the form of their currency over there, the dirham. And that's now available through Pripco Mint with the Dubai Land Department. Okay, so they're also looking at this of saying, hey, from the registry level all the way to the tokenization level, let's offer exposure. And this is actually being managed by Control Alt Solutions out of the UK, which has been working and has a license over there. And seems to be that the central bank of the UAE, as most things happening, and the regulators as well, a lot of oversight around any tokenization activity going on out there, specifically in Dubai, which has this vision of leveraging and becoming a blockchain city, let's say. They're all in the dirhams in the transactions, so you can't invest with cryptocurrency. And actually, interestingly enough, maybe to some, is they're using the XRP ledger blockchain. So a win for XRP here, making their ways in the Middle East. Coming back to the United States, there was also huge news from Circle. Ripple was actually trying to acquire Circle, supposedly. They had offered a bid around their valuation level. And then they supposedly came back for $20 billion, but now I'm suspicious because they're sticking to their plans to IPO on the New York Stock Exchange at roughly a $5.5 billion valuation. I think it's a little less than that. But I think if that was the case, they probably would have taken any kind of a legitimate $20 billion offer. So I think a lot of that was a fake kerfuffle, but that's all right. Because it's big news. BlackRock's already committed buying 10% of these IPO shares. And actually, it's also reported that Jeremy Allaire, the CEO, is offloading 8% stake that he has. I'm sure he owns more than that, but haven't looked at the filings that deeply. But good news, ARK and other funds have already committed to it as well. So hopefully this is an awesome IPO, because its success represents a success for the RWA industry going public, if you will. And the stablecoin industry sector specifically, of course. So congrats to Circle and much success, I believe. Not investment advice, of course. And lastly, I want to talk about something that I think is going to make some moves as we continue to see this trend take the world. We've already seen it with a couple of different football clubs. One with INX and Republic over in the UK, as well as some activity over in Europe in general. But now we're talking about El Salvador, one of the top clubs, Club Deportivo. Okay, they've won a lot of championships and made a lot of sort of successful football players out there. And we're talking about soccer for any Americans that are listening or watching. But a company called Valerium is bringing them on chain, and they have an agreement with them basically to tokenize the ownership in the club, right? So this is a trend that we're going to continue to see and grip sports everywhere, because of course fans want to become owners, and this is a phenomenal way to be able to bridge them into making that possible. So congratulations to the El Salvador team for making that smart decision to team up with Valerium and officially tokenize their club. So looking forward to seeing more updates on that. But don't go anywhere, folks. We got a lot more news to cover. And if you're liking what you hear so far, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. Even share this episode if you've got some time. Let's get into the RWA Foundation update now. All right, another week brings us closer to our eventual token generation event, our minting, the Wally DAO launch. This is, of course, our flagship initiative by the RWA Foundation, our trade association, if you will, that we've put together with all of the different leading L1s, L2s, tokenization engines, DeFi infrastructure, ratings, and otherwise, all together so that we can help with the mission of supporting the adoption of real-world assets globally, to connect all people to real-world assets, because it's something that everybody will one day do, and is a financial freedom we think everybody deserves. And we're starting with that pitch to crypto natives. That's why we're launching the Wally DAO, to start bringing the concept of a community focused on this sector within the crypto sector, to be able to use a DAO token to actually create a self-sustainable method to support the foundation and to support the DAO forever using RWAs, and at the same time bring in perks, airdrops, and other benefits for the membership. So definitely check all that out. We got a brand new website over at wallydao.xyz for you to learn more about that. And trust me when I say it's around the corner. There's going to be some big news to be revealed around that very soon. So tap into our Twitter, our X channel, RWA Foundation, and our Telegram. Very active. We got the herd growing. So come tap in if you're interested in the space and you want to learn more about all this. So that's all we got for now. Tune in next week for some big news. We also, I should mention, we have some really great merch available thanks to FA merch that you can go check out to buy some limited edition hoodies that are honestly like cloud. I'm actually wearing an STM version from the same company right now. So shout out to Sam Grossman and FA Merch for making some amazing materials there. Get yours now while you still can, even though they're a bit pricey. We're working on that, but limited edition, folks. All right, there's more RWA news. Let's drill into it with the Token Debrief. It's a far cry from the days where we only had 4 or 5 articles to talk about. So we're going to get right into it with real estate, more real estate. If 240 billion of deeds coming to Avalanche or the Dubai Land Registry wasn't enough for you, there's another 100 million of real estate coming to the Hedera blockchain thanks to StegX and Zonix coming together on this, okay? We have a great real estate report available at STM. .co. You can actually go to reports.stm.co directly to access that. And we've got a real estate report right there for you to dig into, talking about all of this activity. My Lord, there's a lot of real estate activity people aren't talking about or tracking in one place. So definitely it's examples like this we need to look into. And that's not stopping in Africa, with the Central African Republic officially and their president endorsing a meme coin, just like Trump. But in this case, unlike the Trump coin, specifically with plans to use it to create utility, support economic development, and support charity, they say. One of those initiatives to tokenize 1,700 hectares of land. That's a huge deal. That's more real estate coming on chain. They see the vision just like Bergen County sees it, just like Dubai sees it. This is a global movement. And that's actually kind of related also to farming and agriculture, where it's worth mentioning that Mantra and Dimitra have partnered up to tokenize farming and carbon credits. Okay. About over 1 million traceable carbon credits over the next 10 years, coming out of cocoa production in the Amazon region of Brazil and forest conservation in Mexico. So that's awesome work being done there by Dimitra on the agritech side. And of course, Mantra providing the blockchain. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like their token, after checking their latest price, has much of a rebound since their huge crash, over 90%. In value. So still all eyes on the project here. And of course, again, no investment advice here, but I'm a fan of the team and how they've responded to just keep on working on the mission to tokenize. And that's going to get a little bit easier thanks to the regulators. The SEC is on fire. I never thought I'd be saying that a year ago this time today, with the SEC Crypto Task Force meeting once again to talk about tokenization, NASDAQ and others, as well as DeFi players like Plume getting involved to talk about the challenges and the best ways, urging really the SEC to keep everything under the same rules as securities, something we've been talking about since day one on the podcast. Just pass rules that say we treat them like securities. It's crazy how we need that. And of course, to support some other challenges around providing ultimately liquidity and ownership potential thanks to RWAs to financial markets. And that doesn't stop there, because there's another one on June 5th, this time with BlackRock, Fidelity, and Franklin Templeton, and maybe some others, to talk about asset management and how tokenization is intersecting with that. I mean, if you just look at the last couple of months, basically the SEC, even though they've been studying and learning and mostly just enforcing the last 4 to 8 years, they are now doing the full-on crash course, meeting with the industry, talks of a regulatory sandbox coming to play. Those are huge moves for the space that will help bring the clarity we all need and really usher in the wave of tokenization across all markets, especially here in the US, but it will be globally recognized. And that's why we are not stopping. We've seen that with some cool updates here. Maple tapping into Cantor, the Cantor network being now one of the largest players on the institutional side, with a lot of different services on the tokenization front. But now it looks like they're allocating to Maple's Bitcoin-backed financing facility, one of their vaults, one of their pools. So good on Maple. Bitwise just recently, now Cantor. They are just on fire and attracting capital. And that leads to more announcements. TokenFi, which is by Floki, the blockchain Floki, has now launched an RWA platform, a tokenization platform they say is no code, to make it easy to bring assets on chain. So I guess welcome to the game. Yet another blockchain and tokenization platform to track and cover. Prometheum making some moves. They announced that they have acquired a broker, Pro Financial, to expand now into primary issuance. So they already were licensed with their own broker for the ATS. They were the first company to get that special purpose broker dealer that's now been nixed. And they apparently weren't able to do primary issuance yet. So now that's coming into the game. They plan some big tokenization deals. And to make that full circle, they've also gone into the transfer agency game. Okay, so now they're also launching Prometheum Coinery. And if you start to piece that together, starts to look like a lot of the other end-to-end ecosystems that we've seen be put together, like by the likes of Securitize and others. So maybe a good move here by Prometheum as they kind of build themselves as another juggernaut conglomerate, but all eyes will be on the projects that they end up issuing here and bringing to market. And that is also the same case for BPX Exchange, which is in the UK, over across the pond from where I am right now. They have been officially approved, gotten the regulator nod, if you will, the 52nd company, I think, to get a crypto license, but in this case, focused on tokenization, issuance, trading, and lending of dematerialized and tokenized equity and debt securities, they say. So awesome news, more marketplace activity. How can you not be bullish on RWAs? You cannot be bullish enough, in my opinion, which is why we're going to keep on going with some actual token offerings to end it here, folks. Yieldcoin news, Algorand-based MT Bill by Midas is officially here, already 2 million in flows on day one. Structured as a certificate here, not necessarily as some of the other fund products and the like that we've seen in the yield coin space, right? These are not stable coins. These are providing the yield behind them. And in this case, it's available in Europe and on Algorand. So good to see Algorand getting back into the mix, one of the OG platforms, still building, but now getting some attention here. Good on Midas to make that happen. And Yield Coins continues with BGUSD by BitGet, another yield-bearing certificate that's looking to compete and get into the game. Finally, some more stablecoin news. Supposedly a new U.S. chartered bank issued token. We don't know what bank, but by DeFi Technologies and Fire Labs is coming to the USA, presumably, so in the world. So another stable coin, but the big news being that it would be potentially U.S. chartered by a U.S. chartered bank, and that's a big deal if that's the case. So good on DeFi Technologies as they're making their foray into tokenization. I think Fire Labs has been working on that bank deal for a while now. So nice to see this get announced. That means that there's got to be some kind of launch, presumably coming soon. And that's all of the tokenization news this week that I got to cover. There's probably even more. Tap into our community, tap into our socials to keep up with us. If you aren't following our newsletter, What's Drippin', we've got great updates for you on Mondays and Wednesdays, keeping you up to date. And then on Fridays, you can tune on into the show. So we've got you covered all week long. But I get to end the show now with picking a company of the week. All right, every week we have to pick somebody who stands out the most, somebody that I get to give a little love to, a little bump of a push of I don't know how much of a push ultimately comes your way, but I hope it's a big one, because I'm going to give the spotlight and my company of the week to none other than Balcony. Balcony is the company behind the deal to bring Bergen County onto Avalanche. Okay, this is arguably the largest RWA deal out there. That's now what we've been saying is going to be happening. They've made that happen. We actually have one of the co-founders coming on for an interview next week, so I'm really excited to get into that. But I give this just purely because they have done it. They have brought a title registry on chain in a big way. This is no small rinky-dink, county that no one's ever heard of. This is Bergen County, okay? Big deal. I'd love to see it. Congratulations, Balcony, on this. And I'm sure they're not going to stop there. They're going to bring on more counties, no doubt. This is a 5-year deal, so it's probably not going to happen overnight in terms of what happens. But that's a lot of real estate to now bring onto record ownership on the blockchain. So exciting stuff. Congratulations, Balcony. You're my company of the week. And that's the show, everybody. Hope to catch you again next week on Friday. Of course, as I mentioned, go subscribe, go follow us, go check out stm.co. We've just released our new beta for you to be able to track the market, and we've got some amazing stuff in the works for you. But for now, you're just going to have to stay tuned and plugged in. So with that, I wish you all a lot of love and a great weekend, and happy tokenizing, everyone.